Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We have a full house tonight. That's great. We're glad to see people actively involved at the airport. We'll go ahead and start off with the folks who want to speak, because we have closed session and you have an opportunity to express yourself on that item. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the list that was given in the order that was given. And when I call your name, come on up to that podium, and you all probably know you have 3 minutes, but I'm sure you all will make your point within less than 3 minutes. So I'll start off with Mr. Alan Hernandez.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Alan Hernandez. I am the Executive Director with the Center for Community Action and Environmental Justice. We represent communities in both Riverside and San Bernardino counties. I have a question for the Board as far as the Eastgate project goes. The EIR outlines significant and unavoidable exceedances of the AQMD regional thresholds for air pollution and greenhouse gases. This is despite the mitigation efforts outlined in the air quality impact analysis. The question there, wondering if, I don't know if this is a time to answer those questions. But
Yeah, because the item is not agendized for us to discuss, you can only make a statement. So if we don't talk back, it's not because we're rude. We're limited in what we can say.
Got it. Yeah. So that's the question. Thank you.
Okay. Next on the list is Laura Schultz.
Good afternoon, Board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you. I am a concerned resident of Riverside County because these air paths also have an effect on Riverside County and the air quality. We couple the additional air flights along with the additional trucks. It makes a big impact on that air quality. But more importantly, we've seen time after time companies given tax rebates. And they're taking revenue out of a city or a county, which then affects services. And it's the public employees that get blamed. I am a staff member of 1932 Teamsters, and I'm a retired San Bernardino County public employee of 17 years. So my question here is, how much is this proposed development expected to contribute in tax revenue to the applicable public agencies? I think before any time that we approve, or this board approves this type of project, we need to ask ourselves those questions. What are the community benefits, or what are the expenses of the community at the behest of a corporation profits? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next on my list is, I think it's Atris Candler. Atris.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this time. My question relates more to the environmental impact on their local residences here. As you can see, there are houses right across the street from the airport. So the EIR also outlines significant and unavoidable traffic noise affecting adjacent noise-sensitive residential homes, like those ones across the street. Yet the EIR also states, no areas of controversy are known to have been expressed by the surrounding communities. So my question then, and it's kind of rhetorical, I guess, is what kind of notices went out to the residents in the surrounding communities, and what were the efforts to engage the surrounding community regarding the potential impacts and the benefits of the project? Because we don't know what went out or what questions were asked, what would be the impact, what kind of help you guys are going to give them. Because if they have planes going over and they hear them at all hours of the day and night, it affects their families. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Celine Perez.
Good afternoon. My name is Celine Perez. I'm the political director of the Inland Empire Labor Council. We represent over 180,000 union members in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. I'm here today to speak to you regarding the Eastgate Air Cargo Logistics Center. It's our understanding that the EIR provides that there will be a 1% increase in population in San Bernardino, which equals about a little over 2,000 people. And it's our belief that if that's accurate, that a lot of these folks that will be getting these jobs that are being promised with this new tenant will currently do not even live in this region nor the city. So my question and the question of the Labor Council is what is the assurance and the guarantee that these jobs are going to go to local residents? And how do we ensure that that happens and that these jobs are actually good jobs? Our local residents are hungry for that, for them to be good jobs with benefits, good wages, and a safe work environment. They're tired of having the lowest wages in the state regarding logistics, and that's not the reputation we should have. So what is being done to ensure that these folks and these residents are already going to experience the negative impacts of this development are actually going to have the opportunity to have good quality jobs? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Tom Dolan or Doton? Can't quite tell.
Good afternoon. My name is Tom Dolan. I am the Executive Director of Inland Congregations United for Change. We're an organization representing 63 congregations in the San Bernardino, Riverside County. Here in the city of San Bernardino, there are 16 congregations that are members of our organization. I've lived here in the city of San Bernardino for 20 years. I live less than 3 miles from here. And my children, my 3 small children, go to school less than 2 miles from this spot. In the 20 years that I've lived here, I've seen warehouses grow up all around. Right now, the school that my children attend has warehouses on the north, the east, the south, and the west. Yesterday, when I drove to pick them up from school, the air pollution was outrageous. The smell of the air was terrible, and we see that often. So my concern is the impact on the quality of life for our families. We have congregations very near here. Thousands of people live in this area, and I'm concerned about the impact of their health. My question is, has this agency entered into an agreement, like a covenant agreement with the developer or with the tenant that binds the parties legally to execute environmental mitigation strategies and fulfill promises made to the community regarding the economic development that will occur here? For our families, this is huge. When we hear about jobs, we're happy. But we hope those are good jobs, and we hope that they don't impact our community negatively. We've seen the city and this surrounding area, the environmental impact is outrageous. And the studies have shown within a 1 mile radius of where all of the development has taken place near the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, there's a 56 times increase in cancer rates within 1 mile radius around that area. We don't want to see that here. We want this to be a project that supports our families and supports our environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this next name I'm going to have a hard time with. So you probably should stand up because you know who you are. Okay. Is Shira, I'm sure you'll pronounce it for us. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Shahari Arkowski. I'm the Executive Director of the Warehouse Worker Resource Center. We're a nonprofit based in Ontario, work with low-wage workers across the region in the logistics sector to fight for better jobs. And I'm also here to speak to the Eastgate project. As you can hear from a lot of us, we have a lot of questions. We just obviously have learned about this project and are looking for an opportunity to learn more. So I'm going to ask a bunch of questions that you're probably not going to be able to answer, but we have one specific question is can we create an opportunity, a forum where we can have a conversation with you guys and whoever else are the key partners involved in this project, so we can, have a forum. There's clearly a lot of community interest in this, and we think that there will be more in the coming weeks to really have an opportunity to have a conversation about this project. So some of the key specific questions that we have are, who is the tenant? What are the terms of the tenancy? Are there wage standards attached to the project? Are there limits on the use of staffing agencies and or contingent workers? Are there limits on the use of independent contractors and misclassified truck drivers and workers related to this facility? And regarding subsidies and incentives, has the developer and or tenant received any direct or indirect incentives for this project, including but not limited to tax sharing, construction sales tax abatements, construction incentives, property tax abatements, research and development grants, public utility economic development rates, utility use rates, work opportunity tax credits, on-the-job training, or workforce development. So I know that's a lot, and I look for an opportunity for us to have a conversation about these and other issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Yesenia Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, and thank you for your time this afternoon. My name is Yesenia Gonzalez, and I am with the United Food and Commercial Workers Union Local 1167. We represent 18,000 members in the counties of Riverside and San Bernardino. Last week, the media reported about the Eastgate Air Cargo Logistics Center, and a project of this size will nevertheless have huge impacts on the community. And now, it is also really important to take into consideration that if the residents that are neighboring here are going to be impacted by this logistics center, that they also benefit from the logistics center. And so I did have a couple of questions. The media reported that there's approximate 3,000 to 4,000 jobs that will be created because of the project. The environmental impact reported 1,700 jobs. So what is the discrepancy in the number? It's a huge difference. 3,000 to 4,000 to 1,700 is a big difference. And then, is there anything legally binding, any consequences for the tenant if they do not create the jobs that they came to you and promised that they said that they would create? And is there any legally binding consequences for the quality of the jobs? As the speakers before me have mentioned, the residents of San Bernardino need jobs, but we need good jobs in our communities. You drive around San Bernardino and you see the need for those good jobs. So I hope that we can get some answers to the questions that we've asked today, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Lizette Mendoza.
Good afternoon. My name is Lizeth Mendoza, and I'm the Community Engagement and Policy Associate for Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice, also known as ICIJ. We are made up of 35 partners in the Inland Empire, which many of them are in this room with me today. And we're here because as many of our partners here have already shared, we are deeply concerned that this development is happening without a true engagement, a true level or effort of engagement to include our communities that live here, worship here, and work here, all within a 2-mile radius. As Tom Dolan mentioned earlier, Our Lady of Hope Catholic Church and St. Adelaide's Catholic Church are not too far from here, and many of that parish community is made up of immigrant families, of mixed status families that are, again, as mentioned, live and work here. And so we hope that you do have a true plan to engage our communities in a conversation around this. I think there was a report recently published in the local newspaper that there was no opposition from the community or from any environmental groups regarding this development, but I can assure you that there is great concern about this. And so we hope that you all have more public meetings and forums housed in and maybe in our spaces, maybe at a local congregation where we can have a true conversation about this. So we've already submitted, I believe, a public records request, and we hope that you all can answer those questions that were already mentioned before in that request that has been submitted. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next person will be Susan Carl.
Hi, I'm Susan Carl. I do work for Teamsters Local 1932, but I'm also here as a resident of Highland. The media reported that the EIR outlines significant and unavoidable traffic noise affecting adjacent noise-sensitive residential homes, yet the EIR also states no area of controversy or known or have been expressed by the surrounding communities. And I'm wondering how you reached out to the residents. My house is 4 miles from here, because I read about this in the paper. My neighbors, the same thing. We're concerned. We're not only concerned about the impact on quality of life, we're concerned about the quality of jobs. As Penny, the mayor of Highland, knows, we are a bedroom community, meaning we don't have jobs in Highland. People live in Highland and travel to work. So the people that have these jobs, unless they're well-paid jobs and are getting paid very fair wages, they're not going to be able to live in Highland. We're in a community, you can see the community around us. This is not a thriving area of San Bernardino. I'm concerned about the infrastructure. I have a long commute to San Bernardino every day from Highland, across 3rd and across 5th, and I'm sure you all have experienced the issues with 5th Street and 3rd Street and the potholes. I'm concerned on how these trucks logistically are going to get back and forth to the freeway. Are they going to take the 2-lane Alabama behind the cement trucks that are already congesting that road constantly? I just don't logistically, unless we have some kind of community benefit agreement, including the fair wages and benefits, that also includes some infrastructure help from whatever corporation this is, because we are not set up at this point to handle that kind of truck traffic. And again, I would encourage that you hold a community forum for both the residents of San Bernardino and Highlands so that we can come to the table and express our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe this one is Yazzie. Okay, it was close, I guess.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yasi Kawazade, and I'm an organizing representative with the Sierra Club, and I'm here today to represent the Sierra Club. We are here today to reiterate the concerns the folks presented before me, especially on the need for local hires and safe environmental conditions for San Bernardino for the Eastgate project. We would like to advocate for robust mitigation strategies and community benefits that are based in our communities and in the livelihood of our communities. Our members at the Sierra Club learned about the Norton Air Base expansion, and they didn't like it one bit. Talk about noise, talk about pollution in Moreno Valley, and I hope you can learn from those kind of grievances as you move forward into this project. In the South Coast Air Basin, which is where we are today, 15 people die every day because of air quality issues in the basin. This looks like cancer, asthma, chronic bronchitis, and respiratory illnesses. I hope you're able to get back to us on a transparent plan for benefits and questions that my colleagues have provided. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, second to last, Andrea Darari. Sorry if I butchered it.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea Vidaurre. I am with the Center for Community Action and Environmental Justice. We're a community-based organization in the Inland Empire that works with the communities that are getting most disproportionately impacted by environmental burdens. We are here today to talk about the Eastgate project. We looked over some of the CEQA, and we see how there are significant and unavoidable impacts on many different parts of the CEQA, including the environmental, the air quality, and greenhouse gas emissions. Given how bad our region is, given that we have some of the worst ozone in the nation, and that the South Coast Basin is in no place to reach attainment, we are in no place to allow any more projects that do not meet the highest requirement of environmental protections. My questions are, was any of this considered when approving this project? Were there any suggestions made given the place and location of this project? And what guarantees have you guys been given that the tenant will be using the best technology and creating the infrastructure to attract the freight and equipment that is the cleanest possible for both the workers and the surrounding community? Because of our location and community needs, we're in a perfect place to be demanding community and worker benefits for the betterment of everybody. We're in a great spot in the IE. We hope that this is an opportunity for an open forum where we can delve into more of these conversations. Thank you.
Thank you. And last on my list is Sean Martinez.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Martinez. I'm a campaigns coordinator with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters assigned to Joint Council 42, which is 23 local unions representing over 150,000 members in Southern California. We just learned about this project last week, and although not all of us live in the immediate vicinity, we do represent a lot of people who do. So we were kind of taken aback when we had to learn about this project through the news reports. So any development like this, there's going to be negative consequences, right? And I think the EIR outlines a lot of them. But there are mechanisms to make sure that we're getting the maximum positive impact in terms of economic impact, and also mitigating those negative concerns regarding the environment, regarding traffic. And the people in this room have a lot of experience, a lot of expertise in making sure that we are getting that maximum positive impact out of these developments. So I think our biggest request here, someone mentioned we are going to be submitting a Public Records Act request with a lot of these questions so that we actually can get an answer from you guys on it. But we do welcome engagement with all the elected officials present here today. If that means slowing down the process or whatever, that's up for you guys to decide. But I can tell you the more that this gets out, the more concern there's going to be from the community, the more engagement there's going to be from the community, because this is a hot topic amongst our organizations and amongst our members. So we do welcome that engagement. We'll be reaching out to all of you individually to have those conversations. And then we were trying to figure out whether this item was actually going to be discussed during closed session. So if it is, we would request some type of report if possible, and we'll be sticking around till after closed session to hear back from you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, we're going to actually recess in closed session, and obviously you've already stated you're all going to be here, so we'll see you all in a few minutes. It may take a little while, so be patient, and if there's anything to report, we'll be more than happy to let you know. Thank you. All right, we're back, and we'll go ahead and see if there's any reportable closed session items.
Mr. Chair, from Council Member, there's no reportable action taken in closed session. The Commission does appreciate those individuals who commented today, and those who have requested information pursuant to the Public Records Act. We will respond to the questions and to the information that is requested pursuant to the Public Records Act. So you can, I've been advised you can go online and fill out a Public Records Act request. It'll go straight to the clerk, and we'll deal with them in the course of business. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and now open our regular session, and we'll start off with roll call. We haven't done that, so let's, Madam Clerk.
Please state your name. Is my mic on? Okay. Please state your name for the record. From the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Thank you. From the City of Loma Linda.
Ovi.
Thank you. From the County of San Bernardino, 3rd District.
Don Rao.
Thank you. From the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
Thank you. And from the City of San Bernardino.
John Valdivia.
Thank you.
And we'll go ahead and start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask the new mayor of Highland, Ms. Lilburn, to lead us.
Please join me as we pledge to our great country. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any items to be added or deleted?
You need to make the statement. So we, just to clarify for the record, last Friday, we did post an added item. It was agendized as item number 15, which is the officer elections. And at the pleasure of the commission, when you get to discussion, you can take it in the order as you see fit.
So did you want us to basically vote to add the item to the agenda, or?
Well, technically, it doesn't need to be added to the agenda because it was added within the timelines
Okay.
pursuant to the Brown Act. So just to note, there was an amended agenda.
Okay.
It has been properly added pursuant to the timeline, doesn't need to be
Okay.
voted to be added.
Perfect, thank you. And if there are any conflicts of interest, I'm sure you guys will all let me know.
I just
You-
need to, no, not the
Okay.
agenda. I need to abstain from the minutes.
Oh, okay, no problem. When we get to that, we can do that. Very good. So we'll go ahead and start off with then moving on to informational items. Mr. Burrows.
So I want to make just a brief comment on the International Arrivals Facility. You heard at your prior meeting and through some of our updates, all hands effort on trying to make the necessary repairs, coordinate with the insurance carriers. You have some subsequent items on this agenda which report out where we are to date on that. So I won't belabor that point. I would like to, if she's in the audience, ask Ms. Tina Nguyen to come forward and talk about our wonderful new internship program. So Tina, come forward and give us an update here. As we reported earlier, we actually are on an exciting path right now in partnership with San Diego City Unified Schools and the county's Generation Go support. We are the proud partner now with two very, very bright young people who are doing a aviation track internship here at our airport. And so, Tina, if you would, tell us all about how things are going in our, second week of the program, and welcome. So Tina works in our administrative services group with Ms. Pritchett and has done a great job launching this for us, so thank you.
Hi, my name is Tina Nguyen, and today I'm here to introduce our two interns from San G, Brandon Prado and Lizette Acosta. They started on February 15th. Brandon started with airport operations, and he'll be there for approximately 5 to 7 weeks working with airport operations to see how we operate under a Part 139 airport. And Lizette started with the IB-Day departments, and she will go through the departments to see the administration side of the airport. Right now, they're entering their second week, and I think they want to come up and kind of tell you guys what they've been doing and how they've been enjoying it. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Prado. I'm a student at San Antonio High School, and I'm part of the JAG program, which is in collaboration with Generation Go, who is running the internship. And so far, I've been enjoying the internship. I've been learning a lot about how the whole airport is operating, and airport operations definitely does a lot more than I had expected. And I mean, I just have a whole lot of respect for the people that work here, and in any position that work here. And I'm just glad to be a part of the internship and to be working here at the airport. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lizette Acosta. I'm also a student at San Antonio and a part of JAG as well. This internship is a really good experience, and it's something I could use in the future. And so far, I worked on my resume, refixing it and adding on along with SBIAA and IBCA. And yeah, it's a really good experience. And so far, I learned how to check emails, do checks, and it's a really good experience. I'm looking forward to learn more. Thank you.
So that was Brandon and Lizette, and the main goal with this internship is to would like to choose from. I know Brandon wants to be a firefighter after he graduates, and Lizette is on the track of joining the Marines after graduation. Thank you.
Thank you.
And a quick note, our partners here at the airport, including the sheriff and county fire, are really anxious to have some time with these great young folks. So it's going to be a fun time, and I'm really excited to get your feedback too. So thank you.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say great school. San Gregorio is my alma mater, so welcome.
And, okay, very good. Was that all?
Concludes our reports. Thank you.
Since I still have the podium, I'm gonna, not the podium, I guess, the mic. Before we go to the consent items, last time, at the last meeting, we had the number of staff introduce themselves. So I'm gonna have you all do that again because we do have 2 new people that were not here last time. And I know some of you have had an orientation where you've driven around the airport, but you may not necessarily know everybody that's up there. So maybe an opportunity for you to kind of get to know them. So we'll start off with you, Nick, and we'll just work our way down. And basically, I don't know if you were here last time actually when we did this, but you were, okay. Basically, just tell us who you are and your role at the airport.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Pearson. I'm the airport manager. Mainly, I oversee the operations, maintenance departments. We are tasked with the day-to-day operations and maintenance of the field in accordance with Part 139. We are the certificate holder, and with that, we have a slew of requirements and regulations that we are required to maintain. So that's my oversight.
Hi, I'm Mark Dennis. I'm the IT manager for the airport. I manage the entire network and contracts for vendors that support individual systems and support the different departments in all things technical.
Good afternoon. My name is Amber Casares, and I am the marketing coordinator for the Airport Authority. My main responsibilities are developing the marketing plan for the airport as a branded airport and Luxaver SPD.
Hi, my name is Bill Garay, and I'm the Director of Finance for the airport. I guess more than that. Everybody okay?
I'm awake.
And we handle all the financial transactions, the debt service, and a lot of the financial interactions between our airport and other government agencies.
My name is Jack Davidson. I actually run the security department for the airport. Work very closely with Nick and his team in operations, and make sure that you have a safe environment to come and visit with us.
Hello, my name is Jim Harris. I manage the capital improvement program for the airport. I do all of the construction from beginning to end. We do maintenance and repair on some facilities when it fits our part of the budget. And I've been here about 5 years now and getting a lot of your money. So thank you very much.
Okay, I'm on. Hi, I'm Jennifer Ferris. I'm your clerk of the board. I am manager of board support services, public records requests, records management, and IT here at the authority.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Gibbs. I'm the Director of Aviation for the airport, and I provide overall guidance and direction for what's happening at the airport, as well as government liaison with a lot of local jurisdictions, and provide oversight for the specifically some of the departments that fall under my guidance are the operations department, FBO, marketing, and information technology.
I am Scott Huber. I'm counsel for the San Bernardino International Airport Authority. You should all, I think I gave everybody a business card with my cell phone number on it. If I haven't, let me know, and I've got some here to hand out. I'm the one you see if you want to get into or out of trouble, or stay out of hot water, as the case may be. I'm happy to field those phone calls anytime.
And Mike Burrows, Executive Director, and I hold up the furniture and sign a lot of stuff.
All right, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to our commission consent items, and Ms. Rao said that she's going to abstain from the minutes, correct?
Yep.
So, and that's item number, what am I?
8.
Number 8, okay.
8.
So,
I think it's number 9.
Okay. Nope, number 9. So let's go ahead, and that makes it easier. Perfect. So let's go ahead and go from 3 to 8. Anyone have any questions or pull an item or anything?
Move for approval.
Second.
So we're going to move items 3 to 8. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It passes. And then we'll do number 9 separately with Ms. Rao abstaining. All those in favor?
Aye.
Actually, let's make a motion, sorry.
So moved.
Thank you. First and a second, and it's approved unanimously. Thank you. Now, moving on to our regular commission items. We have items 10 through 15, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the order of the items here and actually move number 15 up to the top, which is the process of conducting our elections. For some of you who may or may not be aware of, after the November election, we lost quite a number of board members, and therefore we created 2 vacancies, one at the president level and one at the vice president. So we're going to go ahead and conduct those elections. We were originally going to actually have them in March, once we had the full board, but because we were able to have everybody here together at the same time, we decided to do it in February. Otherwise, we would have been delayed until April, and we just felt that it was best to get this out of the way now. So with that, being secretary, I'll go ahead and start the process of the president, and based on the outcome of that, then I'm going to go ahead and hand the gavel to the president, and I'll switch seats, and then go on from there for the next item. So, go ahead, Scott. Did you have a?
Well, I was just going to outline just a couple of
Sure, go ahead.
procedures for those that have not had the time to read the entire resolution related to the process. Typically, this occurs in July, and so the nominations that occur now will be valid until July, and then in July we'll redo the presidency, so to speak. That's the positions of president, vice president, and secretary. It does require 4 affirmative votes for someone to be placed in one of the positions. If there are not 4 affirmative votes, the resolution provides that the position will remain vacant until the next meeting. You can have motion after motion after motion. There's nothing in here that says you can only have 1 motion per position. So, but anyway, those are generally the guidelines. If there are any questions, I can address them specifically, but.
So, if I understood you correctly, the elections that we're having now are only valid through July?
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll have a new set of elections then?
Yes.
Okay, and that's in the bylaws based on the fact that we have earlier vacancies than otherwise we would have had?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, very good. Good, so we'll get the ball rolling. So we'll start off with president. For those who might be interested, obviously you can't nominate yourself, but if there's a motion for president, I'm more than here to listen.
I'd like to nominate John Valdivia for president of the board. He's currently the mayor of the city of San Bernardino, and he has passion and drive and a vision for the future of this entire region. I think he'd be a very good fit.
We hear a second for that? Mr. Frank Navarro makes a second. So we have nomination of Mr. John Valdivia for president. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I will go ahead and call for the vote. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And Mr. President, the gavel's all yours to the next level. Thank you.
Just till July.
Thank you. Now that's official.
Well, I want to express my deep appreciation to my colleagues here. I'm very grateful for their trust and their support, and I want to work collaboratively with our staff. I see a great opportunity for our airport. I have an extreme amount of confidence in our executive director on down to our staff. This is what really makes our airport run, and we appreciate all of the staff members and all of the good work that our legal counsel and our team provides our community here. This is a great opportunity really to have our airport thrive and get to that next level, and we're here to ensure that that happens. So again, thank you very much for the trust, and we appreciate it. Let's move on to commission action items. Items number.
We're not. We're going to finish the election. We need
to make sure the other offices are.
My apologies. Thank you. And I want to thank Ovi for his service in providing some guidance. So at this time, we are going to our vice president, and the same rules apply.
Same rules apply.
Very well. Is there a motion for the vice president of the San Bernardino International Airport?
I nominate Obi.
All right.
I'll
Ovi.
second.
There's a second. All right. All right, if there is no objection, or shall we do a roll call vote? How do we do this?
A vote would be appropriate.
Vote?
Yeah.
All right, let's do a roll call vote. Mr.
Member
Navarro?
Navarro?
Yes.
Member Popescu?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Valdivia?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Sanchez?
Yes.
And now, technically speaking, you've now just vacated your secretary position, so you probably should proceed with nominations for that.
Absolutely. So moving on to nominations for our Secretary of the San Bernardino International Airport. At this time, the same rules apply.
Same rules apply.
So we'll entertain a motion for the secretary position.
I'd like to nominate Penny Lilburn.
I'll second that.
Wonderful. Any discussion? If not, we'll call the roll.
Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Popescu?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Valdivia?
Yes.
Member Sanchez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Excited to work with our executive team, and we're really fortunate to have some good, strong leadership here. And again, congratulations to our vice president. You have
Can
a few
I
words?
get an
Yes.
opportunity to speak? Thank you. Not that I was, I'm not one to make speeches, but I think this is a good time to make a few comments. First of all, I wanted to express part of the reason why I supported you for president, because I haven't been here for, on the airport side, 9 years, and on the IVDA side, close to 11 years. I've worked with a number of mayors and county supervisors, and specifically with presidents of the board. And when you won your election, and we were surprised, I have to tell you, and but I wanted to get to know you, and after getting to know you, it became clear just from the brief period we spent together that you were very not only energetic, but on the right track to make sure we get this airport to the next level. The next thing I did is I wanted to talk to residents of San Bernardino to find out why they voted for you. And I think it was important because I was surprised and I wanted to know what is it that I missed. And I got to tell you, in the last 3 or 4 months, I've had an opportunity to speak with at least a dozen residents and stakeholders in San Bernardino. And when asking them about the outcome of the election, the one thing that became very clear was that they voted for you because you had a track record of getting things done in San Bernardino. And it wasn't always successful. However, residents felt that their concerns weren't always taken into account, whether they be stakeholders or residents. And you were the one council member when you were on the council that really went out to bat for that. And when I saw that, to me, I said, this is the type of person that we want to help lead our airport. So that was my reasoning for that. Having said that, I think that the other thing that I would like to encourage the rest of you, so it's kind of my little pep talk being the senior guy here, is that this airport is extremely important, not only to San Bernardino, although I believe San Bernardino is going to benefit the most. The city truly needs a shot in the arm, and having been here for a long time and understanding aviation, it became clear to me that even our prior director made this point that this is really the best shot that San Bernardino has of getting its city back on its feet. And this airport is a huge economic engine that it's starting to pick up steam and take us to the next level that's going to not only obviously benefit the city, but all the underlying communities. Having said that, it's because of the fact that it's so important for the community, we have an incredible responsibility of board members to be engaged. And being engaged, I believe, requires not only setting policy, but I think that our constituents who have placed us on this board expect us to provide the oversight. And it is my view that oversight goes beyond coming to a board meeting and hearing presentations from staff. What I mean by that is I encourage all of you as much as you can, because you're all busy, to try to come to the airport and spend time talking to staff one-on-one. Educate yourself about what everybody does and why they're doing it. Come over to the airport, talk to our security folks, talk to our customs guy, talk to our fuelers, talk to our maintenance guy. Over the years, I found that I've learned more about aviation and what's happening here just from spending time here. And it's important for several reasons. Number one, we have an obligation. Our budget is $49 million. It's important that we are entrusted in making sure we manage the money wisely, and we set policies that we ensure that it's being wisely and I think spent. And I think the staff is doing a wonderful job of doing that. That in no way says that I have questions about that. But having been here for a long time, one of the things that it became apparent to me over the years is that when board members weren't engaged, the negative outcome was grand jury investigations and FBI raids. And I don't want to scare anybody, but sometimes if you just show up to the meetings and you think everything's fine, maybe things are not fine. Now, as we all have our own respected jobs in our own communities, and I believe that part of our opportunity to provide oversight, and I think the best way to describe this is if I go to the grocery store and someone runs into me and says, I had an accident at this intersection, the stoplight went out, I have an obligation to go back to the city manager and say, we need to fix this, okay? Or if someone says, hey, I love what you guys did over there, keep up the good work, obviously I'm going to pass that on to staff. But that doesn't mean that if you come to the airport and someone says, this isn't done, or someone didn't do that, and you bring that up, that's not micromanaging. That is doing your job as a board member of a public entity to provide oversight. So I want to make sure people understand that, in my view, being here is a part of your job of making sure you know what's happening. And there's benefits to that, because I think that by being informed, we all work together, so we're all on the same page. And the bigger benefit is, since we're all politicians, we all want to share in the success and the credit for this place, and the opportunities are tremendous. There's no doubt about it. This airport provides amazing opportunities for the community and the stakeholders. Given the expansion at LAX and the congestion and the cost of doing business, our airport provides a very amazing opportunity for many people. And in the end, not only do we benefit as a community, but also the people who get to work here and people who do business with us, our county benefits, our state, and our country. There's amazing things happening here that involves international components, and it would be great to have you all participate in seeing some of that for yourselves. So that's kind of my little pet talk, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, our vice president has a lot of passion, and I appreciate it. I learn a lot from him, and I thank you, Obi, for your dedication, your energy, your ambition for our airport. I see this as a team, right? And it's team airport, and we're going to win. We're going to win big, and we're excited about it. We have a lot of collective history, and I'll point to our secretary if she would like to say anything.
No, no, I'm excited, and I know we'll do great things here in upcoming years.
There was a gentleman years ago that told me, son, do you have an MBWA? And I said, what's that? And he says, managed by walking around degree. And I said, no, I don't have that. I said, but how about this? Learn by walking around is just as good. And that's what I want to do, is work with your team, understand your roles. We appreciate our staff. We appreciate our airport operations. We're here to work, make sure that our airport wins. At the end of the day, this eastern portion of our county needs to win too, and we're excited about it. So let's move on to our commission action items, items 10 through, would it be 10 through 14? And I'm assuming these are consent items?
No, these are actual discussion at
individual
this stage.
discussion points. So item number 10 would be consider and adopt the proposed budget adjustments for fiscal year, and we'll point to our staff.
Mr. DeRay, please.
Thank you. It's item 10 on page 88. Staff requests that consideration and adoption of the proposed budget adjustments on this report. The fiscal impact of the budget adjustments is a $440,000 increase in the revenue, gross revenue. If you go to page 89, you'll see the proposed budget adjustment table with the detail of the adjustments. Under revenues, you'll see that in the line item A,
an increase of the budget for fuel revenue of $5.5 million to your total to the adjusted proposed budget of $12,750,000. That increase is due to an increase in fuel sales from increased flight activity. More planes are flying in, we want more gas. Going down to the expenditures category, line item B, cost of fuel. This is a parallel activity due to the increased fuel activity or sales activity. That gas costs money, so we are asking for an increase of $5 million to add to the budget for that expenditure, for a total of $11.5 million proposed budget adjustment. Line item C, fees, and this is the FBO fund. This is due to an increase in transaction fees as a result of the increased fuel sales and processing payments. Line item D, Building 680, Capital Projects Fund, a request of $5,000 added to that amount account to pay for an HVAC system that was unforeseen when it was initially budgeted for. We could not enter into a certain area, and when we did, we found that the air conditioner needed replacement, and so this is the reason for that request. As I indicated, the net impact of this is a $445,000 increase in gross revenue, and if you have any questions, just please let me know.
And just as a point of information, we still keep our Air Force roots around here, as you see, in Building 680. Translation, Airport Fire Station. Hope that helps. So what you have before you is what we call a good problem to have. We typically look at our fourth quarter operations, flight operations and activities, particularly now that we're in the air cargo business. And thankfully, we got some really good news with a robust several months at the end of the year, which really depleted the purchase of fuel within the expense line. So we took the opportunity to recognize the additional revenues, and thankfully, we're on the plus side as we had intended. So again, thank you, Bill.
Very good. Are there any questions?
I'll move the item, Mr. President.
All right, there's a motion. I'll second. All right. All right, let's cast our votes. I guess roll call or? By consensus, if there's no objections, so ordered. All right, and the item passes. Item number 11, adopt the resolution of 2019-01 of the San Bernardino International Airport. And Mr. Burrows.
So as you've seen, going back to our last meeting and our interim communications, we did sustain substantial damages, cause of two sources here. One was a break in a water heater on the third floor of our international arrivals terminal, compounded with substantial rain events, which then exacerbated roof penetrations, roof leaks. So Mr. Harris and, Mr. Person and a whole slew of our team have been busy at work trying to ready repairs, coordinate with our insurance providers to make those build back and remediation efforts a reality. They are underway. Our insurance carriers have been very supportive, but it is necessary to have a resolution on file so we can pursue additional reimbursement from other resource agencies. So that's why it's before you here today, and ratification of the related parties that were necessary to do that. Thankfully, these efforts and your support, thank you, did allow initial build back, so we were able to actually accommodate some military charter flights that we had inbound. And again, thanks to the staff and the team for really cranking it out. It was tough, but they got it done. So that concludes my remarks.
Well, emergencies happen, and in this instance, we're thankful for our staff members, and we appreciate it. All right, is there a motion?
I'll move the item.
I'll second. I had a quick question.
Yes.
So the amount that the airport is going to be expanding, I know we have to pay the contractors for the work, but it looks like our deductible is $35,000. Does that mean that we're going to get back from the insurance?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And that's the good news. When you start these things, as you all know, you're not totally, completely sure, but now that we've had some time to coordinate with them, they've been on site several times, they are going to process the claim.
And then just a follow-up question, the boiler that, I guess, leaked, how often do we go in there to kind of just look around to be aware of the fact, since the building is vacant, we're not in there enough? So my question is, how often do we really go in there?
So typically, it's a quarterly review up there. Given the nature of this event, Mr. Person and his team have actually updated their PM schedules accordingly. We're going to keep extra eyes up there. It's an odd place to have water here, but remember, this was custom designed for U.S. Customs, and those nooks and crannies were necessary to meet their footprint.
Thank you. And
Very, very good. There's no objection or discussion. The item moves. Moves forward. Thank you, as adopted. Number 12, ratify construction purchase order for the repairs of the International Rivals Facility. And Mr. Burrows?
I'll go ahead and move the item since it's similar to the...
Sure.
It's related.
Discussion points? Questions? All right. If no objections, we'll move the item forward. Item number 13, consider and discuss a report on marketing activities. Mr. Burrows?
So I'll start this, and then I'd like Amber to just go over the snapshot of itself. As you see in the remarks here, for the purposes of our marketing efforts, actually this is a relatively new effort. Many of our standing members will remember just a few years ago, a significant effort to look at rebranding this facility, bringing in some marketing consultants, some other folks to help us in that, and to talk about actually permanently hiring a marketing professional such as Ms. Casares. That all occurred. In addition, there was a formation of an ad hoc marketing committee. At that time, the president, vice president, and secretary filled that spot. Technically, ad hocs by their very nature up at the pleasure of the commission. And it was a very effective tool for us as staff. We were able to bounce ideas and then present sort of recommendations to the full commission as we went through. Now that we are in the air cargo era, which we were not at present, and the fact that we were at that time trying to launch a significant awareness campaign for this new thing we called Luxaver. That was at that time a made-up name that our consultant said would really, propel some activity out here and be a neat thing, which it has been, thankfully. We thought it would be a good time to at least update you what we have from now to year end, and then invite your consideration for further discussion on the ad hoc committee or something of its sort. So if you indulge us, I'd like Ms. Casares to go through where we're at as of today, and then answer any questions or feedback. Thank you. Amber, please.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows, and hello again, Commissioners. The PowerPoint before you identifies the key segments upon which the marketing department focuses its efforts, which are the San Bernardino International Airport and Luxaver SBD. Under these two segments, marketing efforts and opportunities are categorized by key industries, which are corporate aviation, general aviation, maintenance and repair organizations, air cargo, and air passenger service. And the agency's marketing efforts are evaluated against these key metrics, which are airport operations, lease revenues, landing fees and airport charges, and airport business or tenancy. The fluctuations in any of these areas help staff identify new areas of opportunity, as well as an opportunity to identify new ways to market to our various segments. The following airport map identifies the key areas that correlate to our market segments. The marketing department is tasked with developing an annual marketing budget and activities based on current objectives. The matrices you see in the subsequent pages document the activities that happen each month, where we advertise, what trade shows we attend, and what industry functions we sponsor. So this first matrix here is the marketing schedule for the San Bernardino International Airport. And this plan encompasses the fiscal year, and it's evaluated during budget season at the end of a fiscal year to be implemented July 1 of the next fiscal year. Marketing plans are divided between the airport brand, San Bernardino International Airport, and the FBO, Luxaver SBD. This particular matrix shows the activities that have been happening for the airport beginning July 1, 2018 through to June of 2019. And the X's that you see indicate the different activities that we have scheduled for each month. You'll notice that there's a little bit of it blank at the beginning part of the year because that very first XUC is the Air Cargo Brand Audit Forum that we conducted in October of last year. And that was an opportunity for us to reevaluate the branding and the messaging of the airport as a cargo, as with relation to the increase in air cargo activity to determine how we should reevaluate and present our message to the market. And what we came up with is the airport is Southern California's new cargo connection. Currently, we are advertising in air cargo world with a mix of e-blast and banner advertisements, and those you see have commenced in January and will continue through the end of the year. And we are also, because of the increase in air cargo activity and airplane activity as a whole, we are aware that we need to be more proactive in our messaging with regards to press releases and keeping the community and the industry as a whole informed of the activities that are taking place here. The next page is the trade show schedule that we have. This includes events that we've already attended, events that we may, so we exhibit, I should take a step back, we exhibit, we attend, and we sponsor. Those are the different elements that we do with the trade shows that we participate in or the industry functions such as those held by the Los Angeles Air Cargo Association. So we exhibit at these events with the LA Air Cargo Association. We are a sponsor of that organization. And we also attend various cargo events throughout the year that we may walk to meet exhibitors and meet potential business targets. We also, in the second table, you'll see commercial aviation conferences, and those are attended by Mr. Mark Gibbs, the airport director, for one-on-one negotiations with potential airline clients that could potentially start service here at the airport. The next matrix is the advertising marketing schedule for Luxavera, SBD, the FBO. And we have this plan, we follow the same process in identifying the areas in which we will market, where we want to present our message, where we want our brand identity and awareness to take place. And this particular plan is more robust in the sense that we are trying to attract more business aviation to the airport, to the FBO specifically, and we focus on digital and print advertising, e-blasts, flight planning websites or directories. We host events at the FBO, hospitality events to bring people in to have a real firsthand experience at our facility. As well, we attend and sponsor trade shows and industry events. The next slide is the industry events that we exhibit at, attend, or sponsor throughout the course of the fiscal year. All of these events allow us an opportunity to meet face-to-face with our targets and conduct business development efforts. I thank you for the opportunity to present this information to you.
Very good. Are there any questions?
Couple questions. So when was the last time the ad hoc committee met? The one for marketing?
So I knew you'd ask me that, and I didn't have time to look it up. Ovi, do you recall? You're the last man standing on that former block of folks. It was
I'm gonna say-
mid-year last year, maybe?
No, I
Year
think it
before?
was probably 4 years ago. We actually, the committee stopped meeting once we had come up with the name Luxavera, and then at that point, everything was kind of coming to the board. So we never went back. The initial goal of the committee was to work on kind of what we're going to do for marketing and who we're going to hire. Once we did that, then the committee stopped meeting.
Yeah, it's been a while, though.
So with that, I know that the airport is a recipient to several federal grants because of the volume of flights coming in and out of this airport, right?
Well, and to a small degree now, but as we continue, should this trajectory go
Yes.
forward, then yes, we will receive actual FAA entitlement funds, which is very important. I mean, that's really the motto for commercial airports, to fund their maintenance and upkeep.
So there's two inherent things here. So the first is that the inherent good that comes out of a higher volume of flights coming in and out of the airport
And second, we have now, with a higher volume, we have access to federal grants for funding.
Absolutely. More dollars, yes.
So I think it's important, and it's incumbent on this kind of governing board here that we ensure that the marketing is at a level that we need to continue to have success at the airport level. And I think we do that through oversight, and that oversight should be through this ad hoc committee, this marketing ad hoc committee. So if it's okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we reconstitute this ad hoc committee to meet once every quarter.
And to the chair, the way an ad hoc is actually officially formed is quite simple. If you elect to keep the current slate of the executive officers as the members of that, you need only announce the membership, and then it is formed as an ad hoc.
Very good. So that can be done either
Presently.
through memo or presently?
Could be right now.
All right. So what say our board members?
I would second that and welcome the opportunity to reconvene the ad hoc committee and then discuss whether we want to make it a permanent standing committee, which then may actually require a resolution if
that would be a reso
which would
that
have
we
to
could
come
post
back
that.
to us at that time.
Sure.
But
All right, so there's a motion and a second to resurrect ad hoc committee and formation later to be determined. Is there any discussion points on that?
I think the formation, if I'm not mistaken, is the executive.
So it's president, vice president, secretary. That's who would comprise the prior
If
committee.
we are all in agreement that we're okay with that, then we continue with that same format.
You okay to serve on that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, if then, in that case, in order to make it a permanent standing committee, we would have to agendize.
Correct, yes.
So I'd like to agendize considering a resolution, or sorry, an ordinance making a permanent committee, a permanent marketing committee made up of this body.
Yeah, we can have that at your next meeting. No
Yeah, and
problem.
I think that can be done just by giving guidance without actually making a motion.
Direction to
So that'd
staff
be
is
fine.
appropriate.
Yeah, and I'll just make a few comments. I think it's a great idea. I think it's an opportunity for us. We've grown significantly in our marketing efforts. There's no doubt about it from 3 or 4 years ago and continue to grow. And I think there's various ways to measure success, whether it be in dollars, gallons pumped, or how well are people knowing us. I mean, if we're going to spend a lot of money on advertising, we need to figure out, is it working? Do people really know us? And we need to figure out how to measure that. We may be doing that, and there's ways for us to do all that. I just think that because there's so many aspects of this with so much detail versus conferences and advertising and other events, we have to kind of get into the meat of it a little bit more, and that's why I think the committee would actually allow us to do that. So I welcome that, and I know you, Ted, you talked about it quarterly. I'd personally be more comfortable almost every 2 months. So that would be.
Well, we can deal with that in the agendizing of the resolution as far as the
Yeah.
ad hoc. As to an initial meeting, literally, I can reach out to you and we can coordinate schedules for that first meeting.
And the reason I bring that up is because we're spending a fair amount of money on advertising. So the quicker we meet together, and there's so much stuff to go into that by meeting on a regular basis, if we give direction, then we want to make sure that 2 months later we get an update so we have a better understanding of what works and what doesn't. And then if that requires further action by the rest of the board, we make recommendation and bring it back, whether that involves spending more money or less money, then we could make easier decisions that way, so.
And so from the staff perspective, it's a good tool for us because we get a bit of a sounding board, we get some feedback, we get some fresh ideas as well that we may not have thought about. And then obviously the commission then has some additional insight in the opportunities out there. We definitely rule by the numbers, but in this marketing segment, those bubbles that you see with the cool colors about the market segments, Amber rules by the bubbles. So it's helpful to her too.
Yeah, and I really agree, and I thank the colleagues for bringing up the ad hoc committee again. The marketing arena is so flexible, so vital, so vibrant. We have to stay right on top because marketing changes every day.
Absolutely.
The perception that people get from marketing that becomes a little stale and stagnant is, I don't want to see that again. We could keep that alive. I think it would really work well for the airport.
So Mayor, to your point, if you were to look at that air cargo bubble when Amber started this effort, it was a lot smaller than it is right now.
No, I'm sure it was.
It brings a lot of people coming to comment.
It does.
Well, and using, Amber, you might appreciate this, to Mayor Navarro's point, TOMA, top of mind awareness, we have to ensure that, our voice and oversight, and so this is great. This is, I think the frequency, maybe from a quarterly more to every other month, would give us the opportunity to provide that fresh feedback and pivot, move, and be flexible. So there's no objection. I think there's direction here, and Mr. Burrows will work with you on the formation of it and then times and whatnot. how we can
Absolutely.
get this going.
Happy to do it.
Very good. Moving on to item number 14, the review status of the action plan for our airport, and that would be Mr. Burrows.
So this little tidbit here is actually a microcosm of your adopted strategic plan. It's a tool I use for our team here, as well as just a bit of a fact check for what's to come on future agendas. So today you heard a marketing update. What I failed to comment on in my opening remarks is Mr. Person and his team did an excellent job today. This morning, in fact, as a certificated commercial airport, we are required every single year to do an emergency exercise. And this year is an off year in that they do what's called a tabletop. Every third year, they have to do a full-scale exercise. And this simulates an incident at the airport where we have all of our response agencies, all of our staff, and outside agencies go through scenarios in how to respond should an unfortunate incident, disaster, or what have you, occur at our facility. It is a requirement by the FAA, and it's also a really good tool because things do happen. And I've got to say, Nick, I was really impressed. Great format, and we've met not only the requirements of the FAA, but we got some really good insights from our resource agencies. You had everybody there, and kudos to you on that. So well done. Going forward next month, we have on target this little thing we call an international trade, and that's something that we've added to our foray here a little bit more and more. For those that don't know, our sister agency, the IVDA, is a proud holder of a foreign trade zone designation, and the airport here, of course, has U.S. Customs, and the combo of that really has been a nice, again, incentive and tool to market additional investment into our facility. So we're going to present a report on that. And then, I don't know, your elected officials, there's these things called laws and, I don't know, bills, and this place called Washington, D.C., and what's that word, appropriations. So I'm actually going to have our federal advocacy rep here to give us a status on how things in D.C. are going. And I'll also report on specific areas that we're focused on. So that's where we're at, headed towards your June month here, where we'll be looking at the strategic plan results and also annual budgets. So that concludes my report.
Very good. Any questions from our board? All right. We'll move on to item J.
Actually, that would conclude the agenda, should you not have any
very good.
commission or announcements, which you're more than happy.
Well, let's not forget public comment. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, moving on. Commission member comments? All right, very good. Do we see adjournment in our near future? I think so. Very well. We thank you, staff, and we thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay, thanks.